All right, hi folks, this is Larry Mussolino. I'm recording a short video for STAT200. This is for the Summer 1 semester. I want to give you a quick overview of the course, let you know how the course will operate, how the grading is done, and so on. So folks, this is going to be a fully online course. We're going to be using a program called MyMathLab. That's going to have all of our homeworks, exams, textbook, videos, and also we're going to be using a data analysis tool called StatCrunch that is included as part of MyMathLab. Okay. Also, folks, I'm going to be holding an optional review session on Thursdays at 1 p.m. using Zoom. These are totally optional. If you can't attend, that's okay. I'll record these and you can go back and watch the recording later if you can't attend in person. Mainly, I plan to review homework problems from MyMathLab during these review sessions. So if it turns out you cannot attend, but you want to send me some certain problems ahead of time, please do that, and then I'll be glad to include those as part of the review session. Okay, over here on the left-hand menu here in Canvas, you'll see Zoom. And if you click on Zoom, you'll see here the Thursday meetings set up. So at, for example, Thursday, May 21st at 1 p.m., if you want to join the meeting, just come here and click on this link, and it'll take you right into the Zoom meeting. Okay. Folks, let me come over here to modules. And what I've compiled here is for each chapter in the course, there's a PowerPoint file, there's a chapter summary, and then there's a video. And the video is a recording I've made where I walk through the PowerPoint files and explain concepts, and I also show many worked out homework problems in these slides. And I also show how to use this tool called StatCrunch in the slides. Okay, so watching this video is going to be very important. I'll scroll down just to some other chapters just to show you. For example, there's chapter 4. Here's the PowerPoint file. Here's a chapter summary. Here's a video. And then you'll notice there are also some practice tests available here. I'll talk more about that in a few minutes. All right, let me come up to the top here. Let me click on syllabus. And I'm going to open up the syllabus for the course. I'm just going to quickly scan this. I'm going to go through this in more detail in just a few minutes. Folks, we're using a textbook called Elementary Statistics, Picturing the World. It's by Larson and Farber. You don't have to purchase the textbook because the textbook is included as part of MyMathLab Access. The MyMathLab Access here is going to end up costing about $80. And the good news is that is going to include all of the resources you need for the course. So it's going to include the textbook, videos, the homeworks, the quizzes, StatCrunch, and some other resources I'll show you in just a few minutes. When you first go to register in MyMathLab, you'll need this code, Mussolino 58039. Please write that down. You'll need that when you go to register. Folks, let me show you the grading breakout here. So you're going to see when you go into MyMathLab, there's going to be one homework for each chapter in the book. Those are going to be untimed, and you have unlimited attempts for the questions. So if you get a question wrong, that's okay. You can go back and redo the question as many times as you'd like. The intent there is to give you the practice you need in reviewing these statistical concepts. Then you're going to be taking 5 exams online in MyMathLab. I'll show you that in a few minutes. That's not proctored, and those are timed exams at 2 hours each. Then there's going to be 1 midterm and 1 final exam. These are going to be proctored using Zoom, and I'll talk more about that in a little bit. So here's the breakout. The exams in MyMathLab are 25%. The homeworks in MyMathLab 25%, and midterm and final 25% each. Okay, I'm going to scroll down. I want to come here to the calendar. So this calendar is going to show you what we're going to be covering each week and the due dates. So for example, Our course starts May 18th. So early in the week, I'm suggesting to you to go through the course overview, register in my math lab, review the syllabus. Then on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you should be actively working in Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. So that means reading the textbook, watching videos in Canvas, watching videos in my math lab, looking at the PowerPoint files in Canvas. All of that background is going to help you prepare for 2 homeworks that are due Sunday, May 24th. There's going to be a homework for Chapter 1 and a homework for Chapter 2. Then on Monday, May 25th, there's a test you take in my math lab that covers Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. Okay. Then during the week of May 25th, you start working on Chapter 3 and Chapter 4. Then the homeworks are due Sunday night. Then there's a test on Monday for that material, and so on. Notice there's a proctored midterm on Wednesday, June 10th at 1 p.m. I'll explain more about that in a minute. If it turns out you're not available at that particular time, let me know that, and we can work out some alternate arrangements. Okay? Then that'll take us down here to Thursday, June 25th. That's going to be the last day of class, and that will be the proctored final exam. Folks, you can see we're going to be covering 10 chapters through our summer course, which is 6 weeks in duration. All right, folks, let me go back. I want to go over a course overview file here that's going to really give you more details on how the course operates. So let me open this up and let me walk through this. Also talk about some of the help resources that are available in the course as well, okay? All right, folks, so we're going to run from May 18th to June 25th. That's 6 weeks. Here's my phone number. That's my office number. Let me also give you my cell number as well. I think this was in the syllabus, actually. Let me go back to the syllabus. I think at the top, yeah, here's my cell phone number. Folks, anytime you have a question, feel free to email me, call me, text me, right? Use my cell phone anytime you'd like, and I'll be glad to help. And if I'm not available, just leave a message. I'll get back to you very quickly. Okay, folks, here's what we're going to be covering in STAT200. It's a very standard list of topics from an introductory statistics course. This is basically going to cover chapters 1 to 10 in our textbook. Okay. As I mentioned, we're going to be using this textbook called Elementary Statistics. You do need to purchase My Math Lab access for this course because all of the homeworks and exams, plus the midterm and the final, are taken in My Math Lab. So really all the graded components in our course are taken in My Math Lab. The cost is going to be about $80 if you purchase the access online through My Math Lab, and that's going to be the most inexpensive way to go. Now, if you're not ready to purchase the access right away, there is a 14-day free access period. So even if you're not ready to purchase the access immediately, you can still get up and running in the course and pay for it 2 weeks down the road. As I mentioned, you don't have to purchase the hard copy of the textbook since the textbook is available as an ebook. If you do want to purchase a hard copy, some students like to purchase a hard copy, feel free to buy a used copy. You can even get the 5th edition if you'd like. That would save money. But again, the ebook is going to be available in My Math Lab. Okay. Again, you're going to be using this code Mussolino58039 when you go to register initially. We're going to be using a program called StatCrunch. It's a very easy tool to use, and it's integrated in My Math Lab, which means that you'll be able to easily copy data from a data set into StatCrunch and not have to manually type numbers. So StatCrunch is going to make it easy to import data for some of the data sets we're going to be working with. Okay, it's going to be good to have a scientific calculator. Folks, any inexpensive handheld calculator will be good enough. You don't have to go out and buy a graphing calculator or anything fancy. You know, a $10 scientific calculator will be good enough. Okay, Folks, again, buying My Math Lab, the least expensive way to go is this $80 option. You can purchase this online at My Math Lab using a credit card. Folks, here's the grading that I mentioned earlier. Again, it's equally split among the exams in My Math Lab, the homeworks, the midterm, and the final exam. Folks, let me just mention, I've taught this course before in the summer, and what I've really seen the challenge students have is keeping up with the homeworks. So remember that this course is accelerated. It's really taking the normal 15-week semester and condensing it down to 6 weeks. So that means we move more than twice as quickly through the material. You probably saw from that course calendar, we cover 2 chapters a week, which is very significant amount of work. So the key is keeping up with the homeworks. Make sure you work them carefully. Make sure you understand all of the homework problems, because when you go to take those online tests in My Math Lab, they're going to be taken from the same pool of questions that the homework problems came from. The same with the midterm and final exam. They're going to be taken from the same pool of questions. So if you can really understand very thoroughly the homework problems, that should help you be successful. Folks, the one thing not to do is please don't wait until the last minute. You can see there's due dates on Sunday evenings. Sometimes I see students log in, late in the evening on Sunday night, and I think they believe they can finish the homework in, a half an hour or 15 minutes. Not possible. Folks, you really have to devote significant hours to complete these homeworks. They're not something you could do in just, a half hour or so, okay? Especially as we get into the later chapters, concepts get more complicated, homeworks get more complicated. You really have to try to space out your work throughout the week. Be sure to set aside several hours at least each day to work on STAT200, okay? Also, folks, I'm going to try to do my best to explain how to use StatCrunch. It's not as complicated as it sounds. It's actually going to be a very easy program to use, and it's really going to be a big time saver, because the idea here is to use a tool to minimize the manual calculations that we would have to do. And some of the calculations get to be very time consuming, very messy, and very error prone. If you don't use an automated tool, it's very easy to make a mistake in lengthy calculations, and then you've got to go back and restart all over again when you get a calculation incorrect. And folks, one of the learning outcomes of this course, one of the goals, is to get you familiar with some form of statistical software. That's why you must learn to use StatCrunch. And again, in the videos and in the PowerPoints, you're going to see step-by-step instructions and screenshots that show you exactly how to navigate around in StatCrunch. All right, folks, sometimes students ask, is there any extra credit in the course? There's no extra credit available in the course, but the good news, the homeworks are designed so that you can improve your scores and theoretically get 100%, meaning they're untimed as long as you finish them by the due date, and you have unlimited attempts at each question. So if you get a question wrong, you can go back and redo it. If you get it wrong again, you can redo it again. And My Math Lab provides very nice built-in help resources, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. All right, folks, this is an online course, so I really emphasize academic integrity here. Make sure that you are the person doing the homework, taking the exams. There are safeguards built into My Math Lab that detects if someone else is doing assignments for students. And in the past, I have detected that. Sometimes a student lets someone else log in on their behalf, or let someone else complete the homework or the online test. When that's detected, folks, I automatically give a grade of F for the course, okay? So please be sure to carefully adhere to academic integrity policies. Folks, there's nothing wrong with getting help or getting tutoring help, of course, but you should never let anyone else do the homework for you, right? A tutor can help explain how to work through a problem. But then it's up to you to actually do the homework problems yourself. Okay, folks, late policy, out of fairness to all students, I don't allow any late work for the homeworks or the tests. So please don't ask for extensions. It wouldn't be fair for me to give extensions to only certain students. The only exception is if you have some kind of a documented, emergency like hospitalization, urgent family matters. But in those instances, I'm going to ask you for some documented evidence, some medical documentation or other documentation to substantiate. All right, folks, well, the way you register for My Math Lab, just very quickly, is go into mymathlab.com, click on register as a student, enter this course ID, and then you'll be prompted to create a My Math Lab account, okay? There's actually instructions. Let me go back to Canvas for a second. I want to come here. There's actually step-by-step instructions in this file on registering in My Math Lab. It'll show you screenshots of exactly what you need to do to get up and running in My Math Lab. Okay, and again, you can select, there's on the bottom notes here, it says temporary access without payment for 14 days. So you can go with a 14-day free access. Folks, when you go into My Math Lab, on the left-hand menu, you're going to see some different options. Notice here's one option for StatCrunch. Here's an option for multimedia library. Now that's going to contain a lot of excellent videos, animations, interactive figures, and other resources. So click on multimedia library and you'll be able to select any videos for any of the chapters in our textbook. And these videos are very, very nicely done. They have excellent worked out examples. So please take some time to watch those videos. You'll find those helpful. All right, folks, so again, the due dates are on Sundays for the online homeworks, and then the due dates are on Mondays for the online exams. Folks, here are the due dates for all of the graded activities. My suggestion is write these down on your calendar or make sure to make a note somewhere so you don't forget about these due dates or overlook any of these due dates. Folks, here's the calendar copied out of the syllabus. Again, please pay close attention to this calendar, pay close attention to the due dates, and also this pacing guide of what you need to be working on during each one of the 6 weeks of our semester. And you can see for most weeks, we're going to be covering 2 chapters at a time. So in the second half of the course, is going to get to be challenging because chapter 6 and chapter 7 are challenging topics. Chapter 8 and chapter 9 challenging, and they are condensed into 1 week. So you really have to, again, be ready to devote a significant amount of time to be successful, okay? There's also a grade book in My Math Lab that you can check out. I'm also going to be copying grades into Canvas. So the grade book in My Math Lab or the grade book in Canvas should basically have the same information, okay? Folks, when it comes to the homeworks, you're going to see there's going to be somewhere between 20 to 50 problems per assignment. These are untimed. There's going to be 1 homework per chapter. When you go into the homeworks, what you're going to see is a help button. It says question help. And you can select options like show me a similar example, help me solve this, videos, ask my instructor. For example, if you say help me solve this, what My Math Lab is going to do is take a very similar problem. Excuse me, I meant to say if you select show me a similar example, My Math Lab will take a very similar problem to the one you're working on and show you the step-by-step guided solution. If you say help me solve this, then My Math Lab is going to take the actual problem you're working on and show you the step-by-step solution, and then regenerate a new problem for you to try. As I mentioned, you have unlimited attempts for each homework question. The way this works is My Math Lab actually gives you 3 attempts at a time. So initially you get 3 tries to get the problem wrong. If you get it incorrect, there's going to be a button that pops up that says similar exercise. That's going to give you a very similar problem to the one you're working on, and you get 3 new attempts. And so you can keep working on the same problem over and over until you get it correct. All right, folks, when you go to take the tests in My Math Lab, you're going to be taking these online. These are not proctored. There's going to be 20 problems per test, 2 hours to complete. The problems on the test are taken from the same pool of questions that the homework problems come from. Okay, here's the coverage for the tests. For the most part, each test covers 2 chapters, except test 3 covers chapter 5 only. The midterm and final, here are the dates from our calendar. The midterm is going to cover chapters 1 to 5. These are going to be about 20 problems. There'll be 2.5 hours to complete. You can use calculators, you can use StatCrunch. These problems on the midterm final are very similar to the homework problems. So again, you should really focus on understanding the homework problems very completely. When you go take the midterm and final, you can use the chapter summaries as references. And I'll show you some examples of those back in Canvas in just a minute. All right, so these midterm and final exams are going to be proctored using Zoom. And let me show you how that's going to work. Here's the setup for the midterm. On the day and time of the midterm exam, let's say, you're going to use your smartphone to log into Canvas and go to the Zoom link, and there's going to be a Zoom meeting set up for you. Again, you're going to do that using your smartphone. You're going to enable video on your smartphone and point your camera at your desktop and computer screen as you see here. So during the exam, you're going to point your smartphone and have it show both your desktop and your computer screen. Okay? There's also going to be a password on these exams. I'll give you the password at the beginning of the meeting. You'll need the password because you're going to use your laptop to log into My Math Lab and actually take the exam. Okay? Now, when you first log into the Zoom meeting, I'm going to ask you to show some ID because I want to confirm that it's really the student taking the exam. And I'm also going to ask you to have your screen displayed so I can ensure that students are not using any unauthorized websites. You should only be using My Math Lab and StatCrunch, no other websites. Okay? Of course, you can't get any outside help when taking the exams. You can use scrap paper, you can use a calculator, you can use StatCrunch, and you can use chapter summaries. Okay? Folks, I just want to show you that when you go into My Math Lab, it's this question help button that will allow you to bring up these help resources. So there's buttons like help me solve this, view an example. Some questions have videos you can bring up. If you click on ask my instructor, that will send me an email with a link to the problem you're working on, and I can get back to you with some guidance. Okay? Here's more detail on what those help buttons actually do. Okay, folks, let me show you how you can get the textbook. So when you go into My Math Lab, on the left-hand menu is chapter contents. Then you can go over here and select any chapter to bring up the textbook. Let me show you how you get to videos. So you click on Multimedia Library, and then you can select certain chapters if you want, and click on Section Video Lectures and Chapter Test Prep Videos. Then click Find Now, and here will be some different videos that you can check out. These videos are usually short, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. They have good worked out examples, so please take time to watch these videos. It'll really help you be successful when you go to work in the homeworks. All right, folks, what are the challenges in this course? Well, we're going to be covering a lot of different concepts and formulas. Now, you're not going to have to memorize a lot of formulas because all the formulas will be documented in those chapter summaries. The real challenge is going to be when you're working on a problem, how will you know which formula and which concept to use to solve a given problem? Well, the key to that is working through examples. The more you can work through examples, the more experience you gain in recognizing the type of problem that you might want to solve. For example, the more examples you do, the better you'll be able to recognize a confidence interval problem, or you'll be able to recognize a hypothesis testing problem, or you'll be able to recognize a minimum sample size calculation, and so on. Okay, so you're going to have MyMathLab homework problems. You can also look at worked out examples in the textbook. You know, at the end of each section, there's many worked out examples, and there's going to be a lot of worked out examples in the slides. All right, so let me mention some additional support, some additional help. So I mentioned I'm going to be holding these optional homework review sessions Thursdays at 1 p.m. using Zoom. Feel free to attend those if you can. If you can't, that's okay. I'll record the sessions and you can watch the recording later. Use that Ask My Instructor button in the MyMathLab homeworks, because then I can see exactly the problem you're working on and I can get back to you with some guidance and suggestions. There are those videos in Canvas that I mentioned, and there's videos in MyMathLab. Let me show you the videos in Canvas that I'm referring to. I'm going to come here to modules, and I'm just going to scroll down, let's say to chapter 5. Notice here's a video. So when I click on this, this is going to bring up the PowerPoint, and I'm working through, and notice here's a MyMathLab example that I'm working out during this video. So please check out these videos that are here in Canvas. There's also those other videos in MyMathLab that I mentioned. Folks, you have free online tutoring using tutor.com. So if I come back here to Canvas, on this left-hand menu is tutor.com. When you click on that, you can select math and statistics, then click Connect Now, and that will connect you with a live tutor. You can ask questions, you can share screens, and this tutoring help is actually very good. Please make use of this whenever you need help. Nice thing about that, it's available 24/7. Okay, Penn State has an online STAT200, so there's a lot of good notes at this link. There's also some basic statistics information at that link. Folks, if you go to khanacademy.org, many excellent statistical videos there. StatCrunch has a lot of information available. StatCrunch has its own YouTube channel, and there's many videos posted on using StatCrunch. All right, folks, let me see if there's anything else I wanted to mention. So again, in Canvas, I'll just bring up a typical PowerPoint files just so you can see. This is going to include all of the concepts we talk about, and then you're going to see that there's these worked out MyMathLab examples. Here, notice our screenshots of how to use StatCrunch. And here are specific StatCrunch commands that are shown in these PowerPoint files. Let me show you a chapter summary, just so you can see what that looks like. So a chapter summary is just listing for you the key concepts from the chapter. And notice here are StatCrunch commands, so you don't have to memorize any StatCrunch commands. You don't have to memorize any formulas. All the formulas will be listed in these chapter summaries. Okay, and I think that's basically what I wanted to cover. There are practice tests that you can check out. And what you're going to notice when you go and look at these practice tests is they're basically MyMathLab problems copied. So again, the tests that you take online will basically mimic the homework problems from MyMathLab. And then in the back of this handout are the solutions. So you can check your answers by working through these practice tests. All right, folks, I think that's about it. Our course starts May 18th. I'll be sending out some background information ahead of time, and you should be able to access our Canvas course soon. And let me know if you have any questions as you're getting started, or you are beginning to navigate around the course. Here's my email address. And of course, feel free to call me or text me as well with any questions. All right, thanks. Look forward to working with you this summer.